Say someone is hanging out in the Ruinous Empathy area and wants to move to the Radical Candor area in a relationship where there is active feedback. Do you have any tips on making that an effective transition?
Yeah. So I think in extreme cases, if there's kind of a lot of toxicity that is built up, there are some great books out there, like Difficult Conversations, that I think that can be enormously helpful. But if you don't feel like the relationship has gone south, you just are kind of wanting to move it over, I think the best advice actually that I ever heard given was, I'm just gonna fast forward because it's helpful, was just say it. Right? So when I was teaching at Apple University, I was teaching a group of iOS, sort of senior iOS people, engineers, and we were talking to them about sort of giving criticism. And so I had taught kind of a version of what you all just heard, and then we were doing a role play. And so we had 15 pretty senior badass engineers in this semicircle, and we had hired an actor in to just come beat up on them in an incredibly rude way. And their job was to tell the actor that this kind of behavior was unacceptable. And the actor would say things to them like, "The fish stinks from the head down," and they just wouldn't react. And finally, the leader of the group, Kim Vrath, called a timeout, and she said, "Just say it. Just say it." And I think one of the reasons that we often hesitate to just say it is that we think, and this is where a lot of the feedback training actually backfires, we think if there's some formula out there that we can say it in just the right words, then somehow it won't sting. It won't bother the other person. It won't upset them. We think that there's some way that we can control another person's emotional reaction. You can't. Especially with criticism, if you're saying something critical to somebody, it's going to sting a little bit, right? So your job is not to control their reactions. Your job is to be there to react to their reactions, right? Be there to care. If they get upset, to say, I'm sorry that you're upset. Not, I'm sorry that I said what I said, but I'm sorry you're upset. I can see that you're upset. How can I help? Let me explain to you. So part of it is just saying it, especially if you think you're in the obnoxious aggression quadrant, just say it may not be your best bit of advice. But if you think you're in ruinous empathy or manipulative insincerity, just say it.